To my people, this is the fourth installment of the Watchman's analysis of the Gary Griffith and Keith Rowley matter. Now I would like to deal directly with the Prime Minister and his admission yesterday that he had met with the chairman of the Police Service Commission and either showed her or handed her a copy of the report, which we will call the Barrington report or the Barrington-Pritchard report concerning the fuel situation in the TTPS. And that apparently precipitated her changing her mind with respect to the merit list as was constituted, with Gary Griffith being at the top, and to then withdraw the list or withdraw what was purported to be the list, because I don't know if that was the exact document, if it was read and that was it, or it was an envelope set to contain the merit list. But it was withdrawn from the president's office. Now, I recall when this matter came up, and I listened carefully to the Prime Minister, and he said then, very clearly, that he was entitled to and had in fact communicated with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and that as the chairman of the National Security Council, he was within his right to bring to the attention of the Police Service Commission any matter that falls within their purview for their discussion and consideration. And that is legally true. Nobody can say that the Prime Minister cannot send forward a report to the Police Service Commission about matters that fall within their purview. He can, and he did. But this is where I think he went wrong. Rather than saying that very clearly and unambiguously as possible, he was very opaque in responding to the allegation being made by Gary Griffith and others that he somehow influenced the chairman or the president, more importantly the president, into not submitting the merit list. No, we haven't heard from the chairman of the Police Service Commission yet, the former chairman, Mr. Prasad. But what caused the confusion was that the allegation was that a high-ranking government official met with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and the implication was that they met at President's house in some sort of tripartite meeting between the President, the Prime Minister, and the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and at which time decisions were made with respect to the merit list that was already completed by the Commission. If that is what happened, then that is legally wrong, and it would be basically political suicide and legal suicide for the president. And I said then, and I still maintain, that I know that the president is smart enough as an attorney, a senior attorney, a distinguished jurist in the country, and the Prime Minister is smart enough as a long-time politician and a man who has been through many wars. I can't speak so much for Ms. Prasad because I don't know much about her. But I assume that those two persons will know and understand that there can be no such meeting. And I believe that there was no such meeting. You see, Gary and his supporters were saying that the Prime Minister marched up to the President's house, apparently or possibly met together with the Chairman of the Police Service Commission and sat down and made decisions. Me being just a simple old police, of course, I've been an attorney at law since 1994, but I've been a police since 1975. And any old police with footworks will tell you, you don't do that. It is possible that on the way to the President's office, the Prime Minister could bounce up with the chairman and say, hey, I have something for you. I'm coming to meet the President, but I'm glad I meet you here. Can we have a tete-a-tete after or before? Let me pass on this to you. And I believe that possibly happened. And that could have happened in the car park. It could happen in the corridor. But once it does not involve a tripartite meeting between the three people, a meeting of minds and bodies, then there was nothing legally wrong, in my opinion. And I know some of the more seasoned lawyers will want to argue, because of course their job is to argue, that you have to look behind the veil and what the intention was. I would say the intention of the Prime Minister was clearly to deal with what he saw as a runaway train in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, where allegations of serious misconduct and allegations of serious corruption was taking place right under the nose of the then commissioner. A man who he himself supported up until that time, when he had something in front of him that was black and white. And that was when he said he became, what is the word he used? He was disappointed. But I dare say he was disappointed before that, when he had several times to speak to Mr. Griffith. And I would have said he should have been severely disappointed when Mr. Griffith attacked him on the media, and words like Massa Day done, and all these kinds of things were being spewed around against the Prime Minister, as if he is reporting to the commissioner and not the other way around. But the Prime Minister took too long, way too long, to say that he did meet with the lady, and he met her in the car park, because this is Trinidad's a small country, and there are marcocious people everywhere. So if the Prime Minister met on that particular day in the corridor or in the car park or in a vehicle, somebody go see, and somebody spend that news back to Gary Griffith, back to the opposition, and that is what they're holding on to. But had there any evidence that there was a meeting between the three parties, it would have been slam dunk, Ayo Pancho, over Tomova. But they don't have that. So what they're trying to do is to force the Prime Minister to reveal. And he did not want to reveal, but in my opinion, he revealed too little. He should have said then and there, I met her, I spoke to her, I gave her this report. Do what you want, basically. But now, we have reached this stage. Let's not fool ourselves. The Prime Minister is the one who had an error of judgment in supporting Gary Griffith for commissioner in the first place. And I know there are people in his party who are close to Gary Griffith, who might be bosom buddies with him, might have had a drink with him in Pelican Inn and other places. But you have to know when you're looking at a mark card. And it was always a mark card, in my opinion. Not so humble opinion. So, if the opposition didn't support him then, it must tell you something, since he was a member of that party. He was inside. Now I know I see Senator David Nakid, submitting letters on behalf of Gary or to attack the Prime Minister. I understand the leader of the opposition is also doing the same. Madam Opposition Leader, you are a distinguished attorney. You were former Prime Minister, of which I was always proud to say that a woman is the Prime Minister of my country. And you have long political experience and experience in fighting lots of battles. But you have to remember that when you're bringing in people and trying to support people, do not just take the politically expedient way to support someone just in order to attack the other person. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's not the way it works really in politics. Look, the same man you might be supporting now has already denigrated the colors of your party and that of the government down to mustard and ketchup. So, he's already treating your party and yourself and all of those as no better than condiments. Something to put on chicken and chips because of the colors that your members proudly wear. And what you have to do and think about subliminally, a big word they are used. People prefer ketchup to mustard. Ask anybody. So be careful who you support. You understand? When somebody is saying these things, they are coming after you. It's not like when people said snake in the Balize. That was true to some extent. Balize plant had a lot of snakes. And the party also had some snakes in it, in my opinion, and I sang about it. But this is a different kettle of fish. If you're not prepared to openly support the man, do not use his words to try to attack the other side, because he got bounced back on you. I don't know, I am not a politician, and I have not reached the distinguished heights some of you have, but I have common sense. Well, uncommon sense, because common sense is not always so common. And I have some book sense. Some people could say a lot of book sense. But I also have street sense from spending more than 25 years as a policeman. So don't buy cat in bag, please. And Mr. Prime Minister, stop using all these distinguished words and diplomatic words. The man is trying to make you a mockery. So let the truth come out. And notice here, I am not dealing with any war between the government and the opposition. I have friends on both sides, and no matter who is head of the country, I remain a Trini, and a proud Trini. When I say Trini, I mean Trinbagonian, eh? I don't want Tobago people to feel I'm saying something wrong. But recognize danger when you see it. And as I said, don't buy cat in bag. The watchman out for now.